Is happiness a choice, or is it dependent upon specific situations or circumstances? Hi, my name is Jenny McBride, and thank you for joining me in Morning Messages of Hope and Inspiration. I am so excited to share one of the most important things I learned from my mom's example. One of the most important principles I have ever learned that contributes to the greater peace and happiness I have in my life. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice. We can choose joy regardless of what is happening or not happening in our lives. We can choose joy even if our circumstances are less than favorable. We can choose to be happy in the most difficult of circumstances. There's a great book by Dr. Frankl called Man's Search for Meaning. If you haven't read it, please read it. It is so empowering. It is so empowering, the lessons he learns when he's in a concentration camp. For me, it helped reading that book because it helped me see that my circumstances were not as bad as they could be. I think in life, we want to believe that happiness can be achieved when we achieve something or we get something. I can be happy when I have a boyfriend or when I get married or when I have children. We tend to put happiness and joy in front of us instead of living in joy and choosing to receive the blessings we have right now. Now, joy and happiness, I believe, are a result of focusing on the gifts God has given us, on looking to Him, are found through prayer and found through seeing the miracles He gives us in our life. There's a great scene in Corrie ten Boom's book. That's hard to say. The Hiding Place. I don't know why I keep bringing up books about the Holocaust, but this book, The Hiding Place, is also another one of my favorite books. I haven't seen the movie. One of my favorite books. My husband even read it to me one night. And in this book, you have these sisters who have been hiding Jews in their home. And they're these wonderful Christian women who are single. They haven't got married. They're, just sort of those older single women. And they have made this their cause, is to help these wonderful Jewish people not be thrown in concentration camps. Well, because they're found aiding this cause, they get thrown in. And there is this one scene in the book where they are in the most awful camp, and their tent or their room where they're staying has fleas. But because there's fleas, they can read the scriptures. Because there's fleas, the guards don't come as close to that camp, so they have a little more freedom. And she chooses to be grateful for the fleas. Now, I personally have rarely been grateful for bugs, or rarely grateful that I'm imprisoned in a concentration camp in Germany during the World War. That is not something I would think to be grateful for. But here are these sisters who choose to be grateful because they can read the scriptures because there's fleas. They can read the Bible. Saints can be happy under any circumstances if we look for the blessings. Satan's always going to tempt us to look for the circumstances that are less than ideal, and to complain and to murmur and be upset. I think the most natural thing for men and women to do is to complain. Oh, if only I had this, then I could be happy. Oh, these horrible people, this horrible servant who isn't helping me with this. Or if only I had a friend, or if only I was dating this guy, or if only I had this couch, or if only I had a bigger house, or if only I had this car. The list can go on. That we think we can buy happiness, that we think we can have it in these external circumstances. But what if happiness can be found within our mind and heart? What if it can be found in how we choose to view the world? Remember, we talked about repentance as a change of how we view the world, our relationship with God, and how we view ourselves. Well, the world and how we choose to view it, our relationship with God and how we choose to view it, How we view ourselves determines if we're happy. Are we including God in our life? Are we asking, what can I learn from these hard things? Are we choosing to see the tender mercies and the miracles and the little gifts that he gives us every day? Are we choosing to watch the sunset? I don't know if you've ever been to California. I've lived in California most of my life, over half of my life, and I love going to the beach at sunrise and sunset. Those are my favorite times. I obviously don't spend a lot of time in the water, but I love going to the beach. And sometimes at sunset, everybody just stops. And for those final minutes of the rays of the light, people just stop and watch. I'm a photographer, so I love sunsets. And sometimes after the sun goes down, this light will just illuminate everywhere, and it's just breathtaking. So everybody stops, they watch the sunset, and then after it's over, they will applaud. It is one of the coolest traditions, and the coolest things is to see these people who are busy, busy, busy in their life, and all of a sudden they just stop and they applaud the beauty of a sunset, of God's creation. Now, some of those people may or may not believe in God, but they are recognizing his beauty and his gift. They're recognizing how gorgeous in this one moment when the light fades from day to night and celebrating it. And it's just sort of cool. They are seeing something that many people might be in traffic on the 5 freeway. And if you're from California, you know what the 5 freeway is, and you know it usually has traffic. And so people might be in there grumbling and having road rage, while others are literally cheering as the sun goes down. My mom chose to be happy in some of the most difficult of circumstances. She slowly lost the ability to use her hands, her legs, and her body, hold up her head, and do any of the normal tasks that we do. And yet she would smile. Even when she couldn't walk to church, she'd ask us to do her hair and to take her in a wheelchair and take her to church. Even though she couldn't do the normal things of being a mom, she taught the most important lessons that we can be happy regardless of our health and our circumstances. I cannot even imagine how tempting it must have been for my mom to stay in bed, to not get up, to not be our mother, to not be the center of our home and be a source of joy and light and God's love. I know my mom focused on God and the blessings and the tender mercies. I know she was grateful for each and every day she got to spend with us. And I believe it was that joy and that attitude and how she chose to view her life that allowed her to stay as long as possible. She lived a lot longer than she should have, even though the quality of her life was not that great. In fact, it was pretty bad. But she still was happy. And she still chose to be our mom. And she still chose to help us. Happiness is a choice. We can choose to be happy even in the most difficult of circumstances. Whether it's a concentration camp or our body, our spirit is literally trapped in a body that is dying. We can choose to be happy. I haven't always believed this. I have struggled at times with wanting circumstances to be so, or wanting to be able to have a child so I could be happy, or wanting to be dating someone so I could be happy. I didn't get married until I was in my 30s. I was unable to have children. I have faced a lot of difficult circumstances. I lost my mom when I was 13, my dad when I was 18. And I figured pretty much by the time I was 18, I had all the trials a person could have in their lives. Unfortunately, that hasn't been true. Unfortunately, those trials helped me prepare for more trials. But I can be happy, and I can see God's hand in my life even when it's hard. And as I've chosen that attitude, as I've chosen to view happiness as a choice, and that every day I get to get up and choose if I'm going to be happy, I'm happier. I testify happiness is a choice, and we can be happy because of Jesus Christ. That through his grace, his enabling power, we can have strength to do things we can't do on our own, including choosing to be happy in difficult circumstances. I hope and I pray, if you're having a hard time, that this does not sound like a preacher hitting the thing saying you can do this. If you are struggling with depression and it's clinical depression, please go get help. If you have anxiety, if you are struggling, get help. If you are considering taking your life because you're so miserable, please get help. And please know that through the power of prayer, that can help. And also, there are times where we need medical or professional psychologists to help us view the world in a better way, to help us see that sunlight, to help us celebrate the beautiful sunsets in life. There is so much joy to be had in this earth, even amidst all the trials and challenges and crazy going on in the world. We can still choose to be happy. We can still choose to see the good. And if anyone is struggling, I do pray that you will reach out for help and let someone know if you need help, because there are times, and there have been times in my life where it was very difficult to be happy. And I'm grateful for the help of friends, family, in getting the help I needed to be able to view the world in a much better place. I love you. I hope and pray this message will help you choose greater happiness and to have greater joy in your life. Love you. Have a great day. If you like these messages, please like, subscribe, and share.